Hi everybody, today I'm taking a look at the Daily Grind Planner. This has been requested by a bunch of you, so I decided to go ahead and order one and give it a good look over. I have no idea what color I ordered. I cannot find the receipt for this in my email, and it's either Cindy Blue or Boba Green, because the pictures on the website are not the easiest to tell. So I guess that's the first thing. But we'll get into it. Anyway, so this planner was created by Angie Bellemere. I believe the story behind this is she kept using a bullet journal because she couldn't find a planner that had everything she wanted. And then when she found a layout she really liked, she decided to turn it into a planner. So this is meant to be sort of like a hybrid bullet journal and planner. I guess I'll upfront say I really dislike the daily grind, like the idea of grinding as like a virtue, you know, with this idea of hustle culture and everything else. I don't know if that's what she means or not, but that was my first thought when I saw this. That's just something that is not kind of how I live my life right now, but that doesn't mean that's not how you live your life right now, or that something like this could be helpful for you. Like I said, I can't figure out what color this is, so it looks on camera like it's Cindy Blue, but in person it looks like it might be Boba Green. I'm not sure, but there's a bunch of different colors that have this style, but like different colors here. And then she's also got some more illustrated covers for like special editions. There's a bunch of different types of covers. According to the website, this is their quote, "No guesswork bullet journal, the first planner you'll ever use from cover to cover." It says that this simple yet incredibly effective style of planning ensures you make your goals happen daily without being consumed by the fluff of a typical planner. This will definitely be the first planner you use from beginning to end. I'm going to read the claims from the website. We've got sturdy ring-bound design for flat lay planning, 200 plus custom hand-drawn pages by Angie, 7x10 hardcover planner, 100 plus GSM paper for no bleed through, extra blank dot grid pages for sketches and notes, a 4-month planning system. You can get packs of 3, a 4-month vision and habit tracking, 6 new cover designs to choose from, simple and effective daily goal setting, get more done in 4 months than most do in a year. So the planner is $47.99 for 4 months, and you can get 3 of them. She sells them in like the collections of covers. So this one would be part of the Castle collection. There's a pink one and a purple one as well. You get all 3 of them, and there's a discount. It knocks it down, I want to say like $15 to $129.57 for the whole year. That is pricey. Quarterly planners, this is a third of a year. These planners tend to be more expensive because you're buying a whole new book for a shorter period of time. And that is something that is prohibitive for a lot of people. It's the thing we ran into with the Moxie Life Daily. You run into it with other dailies as well. So it's just something to say up front here. All right, let's take a look at this thing. So looking at the cover, it is a nice chipboard coated with like a shiny kind of paper. A very sturdy cover. It is a white wire O binding, and the planner is fairly thick between the cover and the planner itself. If you're going to use stickers in this, you're not going to have a ton of room to play with it. And you guys all know that wire O binding and I are not the best of friends. The actual cover itself has a very faint dot grid and white on it. It is actually in this like creamy white area as well. It's just a little hard to see unless you're looking at it, with like squares and little boxes and shit drawn in the background. Gives it kind of like a sketchy kind of bullet journal-y look, with the word Daily Grind written in cursive with some extra color fills on it. And then the back says "Don't just fly, soar" on a dot grid background with the color of the cover, within like a little QR code at the bottom. We open it up. The inside is just plain white, and the very first page is the welcome page. This is very thick paper. Is this 100 GSM? I feel like this is thicker than 100 GSM. I'm just saying, this is extremely thick paper. No wonder this planner is so thick. It says, "Welcome to the Daily Grind, the first planner you'll ever use from beginning to end." There's a Plan With Me video that you can go to. It's got her like all of the social media stuff and hashtags and blah, 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 with a little bit of a story behind it. We go to the next page. It doesn't even have a nameplate. She just gets right into it, which I do appreciate. The printing on this is a little off. There's some smudges, and up here, I don't know how well you can see, but there's like a double up of the dots up here on top. Like, and it looks like it's that way, not for the whole planner, but at least for the first couple of pages. It just looks like there was a bit of a printing error. The next page is your 4-month vision, and it gives you a box up here. Where I am today, how far I want to go, where will I waste time, what can I do well, what I want to accomplish, how will I celebrate, how can I be more consistent, and biggest goal. And then there's some tips down the middle, one for each of these boxes. So for example, for where am I at today, the tip is how happy are you with your life and goals today. Where will I waste time? It says cut these out next month. So this gives you some ideas on how to like utilize or how to either come up with or utilize this information. Then here is your 4-month plan. You have a habit tracking sheet. So you have 4 months, a Sunday start with 5 rows per month, 5 weeks per month. It's undated. And then you can use this to track your habits. And then at the bottom, it gives you a space for each month, top 10 goals, and then at the bottom, you write down how many of each of these top 10 goals you accomplished. And then at the end of it, total 4 months goal completion score out of 40 because there's 10 per month. Immediately off the bat, there are 2 things that are kind of rubbing me a little wrong with this planner or like irking me. One, none of these boxes or very few of these boxes line up really well with the dot grid. Some of them do, some of them don't. The habit boxes most definitely do not. So they don't line up. And maybe that's because of the kind of the off kilter of some of the printing. But if I just flip through these, a lot of the boxes don't line up really well with the dot grid. And that kind of throws me off. Secondly, I think this habit tracking is plenty of space. But these boxes to write what your habits are or to write what these goals are, that doesn't give you a lot of space. To give you an example or an idea here, this is my 0.1 pen, and here's the nib in there. Like this already would be too fat, I think, to write inside of these tiny boxes, let alone to be able to read it. So I feel like this is a lot of information crammed onto one page that it could be really difficult to write in if you don't have the world's tiniest handwriting using a very small pen. The spread itself, I think, is interesting, especially this idea of having your 10 goals for each month already set. It doesn't look like there's a lot of prep work or anything ahead of time to help you set what these goals are, but that doesn't mean that there isn't some later in the month because this is an overall sheet for the whole planner, so we'll keep looking. Then we're in the month ahead. It gives you, again, 5 weeks for the month, undated with a Sunday start, a spot to write your month, your top 10 goals for this month, slightly more space, but not that much. And then you have space for important dates, must-dos this month, and then more empty space for ideas and thoughts. And then you have a blank dot grid page. To give you some sense of scale, each of these, this dot grid seems to be about standard size, 5 millimeters square. Each of these little boxes to write your goal for the month in is 5 millimeters tall by 4 millimeters wide, so not a lot of room. And again, they don't line up well with the boxes. Like it feels like she drew the layouts out and then just printed them onto dot grid instead of actually drawing them on dot grid, which as somebody who's done design work, like I can see how that happened. It aesthetically is not doing it for me. Then we have the week ahead. You have space to write your week. You have your top 10 goals for this month. The goals you want to get done by weekend, there's 10 spaces for those. How it's happening, done, and almost. You have for this week, you have boxes with a Sunday start. I'm assuming maybe for your schedule, room for top 5 priorities, your mantra for this week, and what I will do for me with 5 spaces. And then you have a blank dot grid page. Okay, good. There is daily stuff in here too, because I was going to say this is not enough for me to weekly plan. Like these little boxes here, again, they're only like 4 boxes wide, or maybe 5 boxes. I can't tell because they're not lined up right, but it's not a lot of space. If you have small handwriting, this could be great for you. And then there's plenty of space because you get a blank dot grid page next to it. Then we get into your daily pages. You get a full page for each day, not one of those situations where the weekends get short shifted. So I appreciate that. You have space to write your day, your top 10 goals for the month. So you basically repeat that on every page, which can be a really good thing for some people. And then top 10 to-dos for today, done almost tomorrow. You have a spot for 5 hearts that say to feel amazing, I will. Top 3 movers today. I'm assuming things that will move you forward. a game plan, which is 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. with just a single hour. Like it's not half hours, it's just hours. Don't forget with a handful of dots for that, and then grateful and excited for. So that's your daily page. I feel like if I could make I feel like I'm criticizing the shit out of this, but I do think that I would remove this top 10 goals this month and give myself maybe a full side for the game plan for the day, divided up into half hours, just because everything is so small. So you have 7 of these pages for the week. Then you're into the next week ahead, your blank dot grid page, and then you're into your next group of days. And the way that they solved the problem for the 7 days is it's either a week ahead with a blank dot grid here, or the other way around, where the week ahead and the dot grid are on the same actual physical sheet and you just have to flip it back and forth. I don't know how I like that or not. I mean, you might like that, but like the idea of being able to see the week spread being like week and then dot grid to me is more useful than having it be week ahead with the dot grid on the back. But if that means that you still get 7 full days for your daily planner, then I am okay with that. And it also looks like there is no prep work or anything to help you determine your goals, except for that very, very first page. You just come up with them. So if you are looking for a planner with more like guided ways to figure out what your goals are going to be, this may not be the planner for you. At the end of your 5 weeks, you get a month in review. For your month in review, you have a spot to write your month, proudest moments, where I can improve, what worked, what didn't work, a spot for improvement ideas. This month on a scale of 1 to 10, your top 10 goals this month. Was it achieved? Yes, almost, or no. The next month's focus and ideas and notes. And then I'm imagining you can go back to that first page and fill in what got finished that month. Then you have a blank dot grid and then another month ahead page. And then you're back into your weeks. So you have a total of 20 weeks in here, 5 weeks per month. Once you get to the end of all of your weeks, at the very end of the planner, you have a 4-month review. 4 months ago, I was blank. How far have I come? Where did I waste time? What did I do well? What did I accomplish? Thoughts on my score? How can I be more consistent? And what's next? So a lot of these are similar to the beginning page with the 4-month vision, with a little bit of differences. For example, thoughts on my score versus how will I celebrate? Where will I waste time versus where did I waste time? So you're basically going over kind of the same stuff, just as a retrospective. And then you have a new 4-month plan habit tracking sheet, which is basically the same thing as the previous one. I'm not sure if you're supposed to use this for your next 4 months, or if this is supposed to be like, are you supposed to copy everything over to here? I'm not really sure how to use that. For me personally, if I was trying to do more than one new habit a month, I might use it for this way. But other than that, I'm not really sure. And then at the back, you have another dot grid page, and that is the end of the planner. Before we talk about my overall thoughts on the planner, let's do a pen test. This paper is exceedingly thick. Like this, I would say, if I was going to guess, I would say this leaned more towards 160 GSM than 100 GSM. Like it reminds me of Archer and Olive paper, like that almost cardstocky feel. It's very, very thick. It's got a slight gray cast to it from the printing, I think. But if you use some thick paper, it doesn't have, it's like a tiny little bit of a tooth, but it's mostly smooth. For my pen test, I'm using a Pentel Energel RTX in 07, gel pen, my Staedtler Pigment Liner 01 fine liner, Tombow Dual Brush Pen, Zig Clean Color Dot Pen, and a Zebra Mild Liner. A couple quick notes. I'm heavy-handed. I pressed down lightly and then harder with the dot pen, and then did a single and then a double pass of the highlighter. Yeah, there's no evidence I wrote anything on the other page. Like there's no ridging, there's no shadowing, there's no bleed through. This is very thick, very nice paper. If that is something that is important to you, this planner would be great for you, especially if you're somebody who likes to bullet journal but wants maybe a little bit more structure and a little bit more space. Overall, what do I think of this planner? I think that it is not for me, for one. For two, I've already griped enough about the way that the lines, the boxes don't line up with the drawings, so I'm not going to harp on that for too much. I think it's just a question of how the planner was printed. The reason this is not for me is, aside from the fact that I'm not, like, this is not the style of planner I would normally use, the two big reasons this wouldn't be for me is A, I don't write that small and my tendinitis hurts just thinking about it, and B, the goal setting is a little loose or a little open for me. I need something with a little bit more guidance. Not a ton of guidance, but a little bit more guidance. So just having 10 goals per month, but without any guidance to get you there, that's just not something that appeals to me, but it might appeal to you. I think the thing about this planner, it gives you some space for interpretation with the open dot grid pages, but it's not, that doesn't give you daily dot grid pages. It gives you like weekly and monthly dot grid pages. Otherwise, it's fairly structured, so that might be a turn on or a turn off for you. I think it is an interesting planner, and I'll be real with you. This is actually not something I think I've seen. This planner specifically is kind of unique in how it is set up. This is not something I think I've seen before in all the planners I've looked at, this specific kind of setup. So this could work for you. I think that she really did make herself something that was suitable for herself, I'm assuming, but like, this does not feel like somebody just trying to cash in on the planner market. This does feel like something almost personal because of how specific it is, but it might work for you. I don't think it would work for me. So I'm definitely going to give this away in December when I do all of my other Vlogmas giveaways. So if you're interested in this, keep an eye out for that. I feel like, much like the Passionate Penny Pincher planner, this planner is for a specific person or a specific audience, which is not me. But if it is you, let me know. And I'd like to hear any other planners you'd like me to take a look at in the upcoming months. I'm fairly booked up with planners through the end of the year, but I am always on the lookout for more. So let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, my friends, peace.